Hello, welcome to Midnight Messages. My name is Stacy. I'm going to do a tarot reading, but first, look at the size of this. This is what I'm going to be smoking on before, not the whole thing, but before I do my reading, that's going down. And then I'll be back. Sounds great? Sounds great. I'll be back. I'm back, and we're gonna do a tarot reading. Now, we're getting a really bad snowstorm coming up, and my bones are hurting. I just did a bunch of dishes, alright? And now, I'm here with you to do a reading. Because I feel called to do a reading right now. Spirit, what do we need to know on this snowy time? A lot of places are getting snowed on right now. What do we need to know at this time? Use this time to heal from a broken heart, and you'll be able to share your gifts with the people around you better if you choose yourself right now. And things may look like they're not gonna end, like the toxic cycles are just doomed to be on repeat, and they are coming to an end, but you're making conscious decisions over your life and your dreams and the things that you want to do, and you're consciously moving towards them. You're not playing it safe anymore. You're doing it, and you're doing it messy. And you're healing out loud. You're healing out loud. That's what it is. Even Grayson is your confirmation. He's saying, yeah, you're healing and you're doing it too loud. But don't worry about him. You're not too much of anything. You're just right for who you are. These are stiff cards still. And while you're hearing out loud, like, you may not be searching for, like, spotlight recognition, that kind of thing, but you are going to be recognized. You will be put in the spotlight. There's no way for you to get around that, no matter how much you want to work in the background and you don't want people to know the ideas were yours. People are going to know they're yours, especially the people that are closest to you, and they're also going to understand, like, why you didn't want the spotlight on you, like, why you didn't want people to know it was you that was doing the water. May be restoring to you. I mean, it is to almost every human. Drinking water is restorative of balance and health, and you may want to connect to your personal magic, or the magic of the Za. The magic of the Za. And that could lead to restoration too, in your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, your work. What else is there? I know, we're gonna switch cards in a second. Tolerance. You may have to take a break. If not, your tolerance level for bullshit is very low. Like, you're not tolerating people's fucking fakeness anymore. Your tolerance for weed may be high, so you may want to bring that tolerance low. But your tolerance for people's bullshit, antics, and or drama is very low. You're not going to deal with that shit anymore because you don't have to. You have the power. You have legs, a wheelchair, whatever the fuck you have. You can walk or roll or otherwise get away from the situation. And don't be like, oh, well, this person has control of the money. Go fix that and then walk or wheel yourself out of there. Seriously. And I'm not here to sugarcoat shit for you. Like, if that's the kind of tarot reading you need, there are other very qualified taroists that will cater to what you want. That's not me, and never will be. You may be, when you're restoring yourself, you may want to do it alone by yourself, because some people are introverts like myself, and they do better when they're by themselves sometimes to restore their energy levels, their spiritual energy levels, their physical energy levels, to be able to basically be around people. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, basically this is so you can be around people. But there's always a but, isn't there? Your solitude is coming to an end. Like, you have stayed quiet about a situation. You've been doing things basically in the background. You've been existing in the background and no one even noticed. And you were healing You were restoring your connection to the universe, God, whatever, and you were doing it because you started having clear boundaries, and you said, if you can't stay within my boundaries when you're around me, and I clearly state these things, then maybe I'm better off alone. Because if you're going to constantly cross my boundaries, then why am I going to let you continue to do that? You do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many times this person crossed your boundaries. Now you've decided, yeah, I'm not going to play that game anymore. I seen this cycle coming from a fucking mile away. And people are not happy with that. They are extremely agitated with your decision to hold your boundaries. I'm proud of you, though, because you're setting off on a new adventure. That's just exactly what you needed. You're going to be the fool for a little while. You're going to play the fool. You're going to be like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know. But you knew the whole time. Oh, I wasn't ghosting you personally. I was ghosting the world, which is true. And while I was doing that, I was having adventures in nature with God, and the universe came, and like, yeah. If you continue with the drama that I'm seeing that you're not going to continue with, there will be a postponement in your readiness to reach the next level. So as I said, I don't see you continuing with the drama. I see you holding your boundaries very firmly. And while you are kind of playing the fool, like you're like, I didn't see that coming, but you're being sarcastic about it because like it's making everybody laugh. Doing that in itself is bringing you into harmony, and also going on this adventure that you're gonna start, like this new chapter in your life. Like you just decided to step into the highest version of yourself, and you're going with it because that's living in your most aligned way. So you're healing your heart, you're connecting with the universe, you're creating this bond between you and your God, your spiritual whatever. And while you're doing that, you're showing other people how to do it. All right. You're not just holding everything for yourself. You're also creating stuff that's showing other people how to do it, whether that be like a YouTube channel or a Instagram account where you're showing people, or your TikTok, or you're writing a book, or you're doing a podcast, or like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You're healing out loud and you're showing other people how you're doing it, so they can either duplicate it and do it for themselves, or they can say, oh, that doesn't really work for me, but I got a good idea off of that idea that I think would work for me. And that's how ideas flow. That's what you're meant to do. You're not here to observe everything for your entire life. You were here to observe until it was time for you to start taking action steps in your life. And now that you're taking the action steps in your life, as in holding your boundaries and living a solitary existence over a communal existence, because in the communal existence with these other people constantly cross your boundaries, and that's not cool. So in order to get to the place where your life is a new chapter and you're starting a new book of your life, all right, to get there, you kind of have to put your healing on display. So whatever you create out of healing yourself, like if it's art, a picture, a painting, like whatever it is, Grayson sounded like a tiny little chipmunk. But whatever it is that you're creating, the people that are closest to you shouldn't be the closest people to you, because they're not rooting for you. They're rooting against you, actually. And it's not cool, because if you stay in that drama, you're going to postpone your personal soul readiness for what the fuck is it when you have your soul readiness for alignment or completion, because you're going to play into the drama, and it's not for you to play into the drama. It's for you to be like, oh, I didn't even know, and just stay away. Be like, oh, I'm busy that day, and you find out some shit popped off, but you knew something was gonna happen because of the way people were talking. So you was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be busy. I'm good. I'm gonna be busy that day, right? And that's you playing the fool, smacking right on into harmony and aligning with your higher self. Because you're like, yeah, I don't feel like that. I've seen this cycle before, and well, that just doesn't intrigue me anymore. And in doing that, you come into alignment with yourself, and you reach a harmonious state in living. So your manifestations are happening effortlessly. You're starting to make money from things that you love to do, as opposed on going to a job that you hated to make a little bit of money. You're going to make a lot of money doing stuff that you love to do, as opposed to doing something that you hate because you have to in order to survive. Take a chance. Go out on that ledge. Be the fool. I guarantee you there's a pool of water underneath you that's gonna catch your fall, and you're not gonna die. You might be beaten up a little bit. You might have a couple of broken bones, but you will not die. Trauma sucks, and it sucks if you're healing from traumatic events in your life, and you should heal from them. And the way you're doing it right now is alone. You're alone. You might not even have a partner in your life. If you do, that connection is like a sacred connection. This person is also on a healing journey with you. They understand, and they are completely there with you. This person is ready to complete the cycle, and you are showing now that you're putting up these boundaries with the people that were basically bringing these negative dramatic cycles into your life. You put up these boundaries. You're like, no, I'm sorry. If you're going to continue to talk like that around me, I'm going to have to leave, or you can leave my house. Bye-bye. And you're choosing yourself and your peace of mind over arguing with people who are determined to misunderstand you. So instead of arguing with them, you're just not even opening your mouth anymore. You're just like, hey, can you just move it along? And then shit happens with these people, and you're like, oh, I saw that coming from a mile away. I saw that train coming, and I did not stay. I got off the tracks really, really fucking fast, 'cause I saw the train coming straight from my past. And instead of getting smacked with your past and wallowing in self-pity and, oh my God, I don't have anybody, blah, 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 you decided to heal from your past. You might have even let that train hit you just so that way you could fucking get that one last, like, that closure part of healing. And if you didn't get that closure, you don't need closure. You really don't need closure with the toxic person. You know that person was toxic. You saw that those cycles repeating themselves over and over again. You chose to stay in it longer than you should have, just because you wanted to see if you were really seeing cycles, and you were. And when you ended it, it was for real for good. It was for real for good. And the other person that you're thinking of reaching out to and either apologizing to because you might have done some fucked up shit, especially with the broken heart, you might have also broken someone's heart, and you might need to heal that connection. But don't be surprised if the person who you're reaching out to doesn't receive you very well, because they are going based upon your past self. And your past self is not only someone that broke hearts, but it was someone that used people just for the thrill of being able to. That's why you needed to connect with the universe, God, whatever, because you were godless and living in sin. But not like, oh, you're living in sin. No, you were basically you didn't know your God. You weren't connected with your God. You didn't even think that the God that you believe in now existed in your past because of things that have happened to you. And so when we have trauma as children, all right, and I know this from my psychology classes, all right, so when we have childhood trauma, that tends to stay with us throughout our adult lives. And what happens is we make up realities that are better in our heads sometimes. And when you have childhood trauma, a lot of the times you don't have that connection with a higher being. Because why would a higher being let you as a child go through the things that you went through? But here's the thing, when you're traumatized to that level, because trust me, I know I've been there. I was deeply traumatized as a child by people that had to live in the same house as me. But when you're traumatized like that and you have to do that kind of healing, oh boy, you're in for some upside down, turning out, inside out. You say to me, upside down, boy, you turn me inside out, round and round, upside down, boy, you turn me inside out, and round. I don't know where that's coming from, but you are going to meet someone that actually is in harmony with you while you're on your healing journey, because you at this point are sharing the things that happened to you in your past. You're sharing that with other people, and you're sharing how you healed. And in doing that, you're stepping into your king or queen energy. And that also leads to you acting like a fool and coming into alignment with yourself is basically your inner child is coming out and saying, hey, we need to do this shit. And your inner child, like, I want to color. And you're like, no, we can't color. I have to cook dinner. And your inner child's like, well, we gonna color and cook dinner at the same time. I'm gonna color. So, yeah. And that's why you're healing in solitude. Because your tolerance for the fakeness and the bullshit and the lies and the shit that you used to do, that you were doing back in your past, your tolerance for that shit, because now you can see through the people, because this person that you were trying to connect with saw right through you. And now you're in the position where you can see through people because you've been there, you've done that, you understand the dynamics of what's going on, and you're starting to put up your boundaries. So that way, people don't take advantage of your kindness anymore, because a lot of people mistook your kindness for weakness, but it's really royal energy. Your it takes a true kind soul filled with unconditional love. It takes that kind of person to make the hard choices in life, because that kind of person doesn't take those kind of choices lightly. They know the weight behind their decisions, even for themselves and the people around them. They know how to bring forth the prosperity, and that's what's going to happen with you. So you had to heal all this trauma in your past in order to be in this harmonious connection, not only with yourself but with another human being. And you're getting there. You're coming into this connection like really fast, and the person that you're going to be connecting with, let me tell you, they've done healing too, and you guys have done the same amount of healing but for different things. All right, you guys have had the same kind of traumatic past, but it was different kinds of trauma. All right, like it could be the same kind of trauma too, but it's like you guys are a lot alike in your mirroring and in your perspectives and the things that happen to you in life, but you're different enough that they're not exactly the same. It's just they are the same. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Prosperity lies ahead, like I was telling you. A time for healing, already said that. And a fiery climax approaches. Like I said, you are literally conquering your fears and healing from such deep wounds that the person that you get with, end up with, are destined to be with, is going to bring so much passion into your life, you won't even be able to like contain it. And the prosperity that lies ahead for you comes from you literally taking chances and stepping on that ledge and finding that, wow, there is a bunch of water down at the bottom and you didn't die. And that was pretty fun. And now you can do it again, and now you're not scared because you're like, oh yeah, that was fun. I didn't, whatever. And you healing out loud, like I keep telling you, it's healing out loud is going to pay off for you in the end, because you're going to be doing something that you love to do. When you heal out loud and share your healing with the world, what you create from that healing is something that you were born to do. All right, I'm going to tell you that because it comes back to childhood trauma and then repeating those cycles into adulthood. And then once you finally decided, no, I'm going to heal. But once you decided you were going to heal, that was it. That was it. These cycles, you started recognizing them and putting an end to them. Because once you decided you were going to heal, that's what you were going to do. And you weren't going to allow more toxic people to come in your life, different faces, same cycles. You put an end to that shit, and you put an end to it quickly. What do you need to release? Really, what do you need to release from your life? What needs to go in your life right now that it's not serving a purpose for your higher good, for bringing prosperity into your life? It's just kind of taking up space. What do you need to let go of? What do you need to release in your life? Do you need to release the anger, the pain, the hate, the fear, doubt? Whatever you need to release, release it now. Let it go now. All right? And on that note, release it all now, so that way you don't have to do even more work with your shadow 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road. You are at a time in your life where you can release those negative emotions, those negative past traumas, and it's going to help you. And in releasing them, letting them out, letting these things manifest however they are meant to manifest in your life, through creating whatever you create from it. Share that creation with the world, because that's your magic. That's your healing. Seriously, that's your healing. You're going to be celebrating soon, possibly traveling somewhere because of the celebration. So you could be actually like starting your own business and be traveling to do things for that business. You also could consider yourself a witch or see multi-universes playing out. Also, you could just naturally do things that are considered witchy type things, like healing people with herbs and spices, and doing all of those kinds of things, or like growing gardens and healing. You've been healing yourself, so now when you share what you've been doing with the world and how you've been doing it, people are going to be more receptive to you. They're going to want to know more, because now you're coming out with like with a confidence, like I walked through the fire and I've made it through the other side, and I've done it multiple times. I've noticed the cycle, I've stopped the cycle, I put these boundaries in place, and now you can't cross these boundaries because I'm not going to let you. Because I love myself unconditionally enough to hold these boundaries and keep myself safe. Because the boundaries that I have are healthy. They're not arbitrary, made up nonsense. It is things that I need to do or be done for me in order to survive, in order to thrive, in order to come into harmony with myself and this other person. That's where you're at. Like, if you want me to come into harmony with you, well, we need to talk about the shit that happened in the past, especially if it's someone that's coming back around being like, I don't know, what happened last time? Can we talk about it? No, bitch. You're one of them toxic cycles that I'm healing from. I'll let you talk, but that's about it, because you're going to tell me you changed, and I'm going to tell you, I heard this song before. It's not one of my favorite tunes either. But you'll get it. You'll get it. So, if you stayed down for the ride and you caught my vibe and you want to be part of my tribe, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. As always, you guys know I love you, and peace.